Welcome everyone to Real Talk with my homies. I'm your host, Jake Wardrip, licensed real estate agent with Homepage Realty. Today I'm joined by Patient Zero. He's back, guest number one on the podcast, Ryan Davis. Ryan, how are we, man?
I'm good, Jake.
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me again. Excited for round two.
Yeah, round two. It's been a while, like a year. So
More than a year, but
a lot has changed. A lot has stayed the same. You had a fantastic year last year.
it's pretty good.
Was a little better than 23. Self-admittedly, I saw.
Yeah, 23 wasn't up to my personal standards.
Yeah.
So 24 was better. Hopefully 25 is the same or better than that. And
Yeah. Anything different or any reason or just a slow year?
I don't think so. I think my people, not many of them in my, sphere, did a lot in 2023 for whatever reason. 2024 is all, or I'm sorry, yeah,
24.
Yeah, so for 2025, January was slow, snow, cold. Been a lot busy the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah, I've been playing the last couple of weeks.
we'll find out together how 2025 is going to be. Like it's starting off well. You never know what motivates people to decide it's time to make a move.
It could definitely hit a wall at any moment, and
Or it could just keep on climbing.
That's true. Just like the little guy from The Price is Right, the little guy that goes up the hill.
The mountain climber.
Yeah, mountain climber. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's early. Yeah.
He yodels too.
Yeah, he does. I do remember that. All right. Jeff, hit the alarm. We have a new segment alert. It is called Things That Annoy Jake More Than They Should. So we'll workshop the name of that segment. That's not really a good one. So it's baseball season. So with that being said, the first official Things That Annoy Me is the Yankee Roll Call guys. Do you know who those guys are?
They're not.
So they're these dweebs in right field. I think they call themselves like the bleacher creatures. I'm sure you've seen their videos. I think that's their name. I don't know. There may be a different group of people. If it's not, sorry, bleacher creatures. But if you're the right field guys, I really don't like you. So imagine you're a game. Show up at Yankee Stadium. Historical Yankee Stadium 2.0. All right? You're sitting out there, and then these Edward Jones cheerleaders are standing out there in right field, and they start screaming at their own players doing a roll call. They start screaming, "Hey, yo," and then they scream the player's name.
Cheer?
Yes. And they keep saying the player's name until the player acknowledges them. So this goes on for like 30 freaking minutes. I don't know how long it lasts, but I can't imagine it's like a really short thing because I've seen the videos and they're screaming at Aaron Judge for like 5 minutes trying to get his attention. They chain every player until it gets acknowledged. And I don't know, it just really bothers me. You go to a ballpark for a nice special day, it quickly turns into a nightmare of annoying and repetitive screams. And from all these just wannabe Wall Street bros that just, I don't know. It's been 16 years since the Yankees have won a World Series. Relax.
Yep.
You're not the evil empire anymore. And honestly, I wouldn't even call you an empire anymore. The empire fell. Yankees won. I pulled some stats because I wanted to support this. New York Yankees, who are going to come at me hard for this, won 16 of their 27 titles before baseball had 16 teams.
Sure.
So they've won 11 real World Series.
Modern era?
Yes. Before 1969, all they had to do was have the best record in the American League to make it to the World Series. There was no tournament. Best team for the American League played the best team in the National League. They're also in a market that cared, where several other markets really didn't care or didn't have the people like New York City did. So the road to success was a lot easier back then. With that being said, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. And Ryan, you got any input?
So you don't like the Yankees?
Don't like the Yankees. So it was.
I'm just picking up on that.
It was great to.
I thought you were going to say something about that they now will allow trimmed facial hair.
That's antiquated. That has been that should have been changed a long time.
I always thought that was dumb, that they couldn't have, a beard like you or I do.
Yes.
Or whatever, a playoff beard or a mustache.
Mm-hmm. No, they could have the mustache.
Don Mattingly had a mustache.
They had to be well-maintained mustache, but that was the only option. They had to look like a firefighter.
Yeah, I think that's how I remember Don Mattingly. So, and the Yankees, if they aren't a dynasty, they are an iconic brand at this point.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't. You're right.
They're a cool hat for hip hop artists to wear.
And like kids where I grew up in Paducah. Yeah, everyone had a
Yankees hat in Paducah.
Everyone probably. Well, if you go to the mall, they're going to sell the big brands. They're going to sell the Braves, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the Yankees in these small towns, and that's where a lot of the fans come for those four teams.
Yeah. And as a Dodgers fan,
they don't sell Pirates hats.
So I am a Dodgers fan because my dad was a Dodgers fan, and his dad before him was a Dodgers fan. And my grandpa was a Dodgers fan because because Pee Wee Reese was from Louisville when they were in Brooklyn. He liked Pee Wee Reese. Never found another team to cheer for.
Got you.
So I'm sure like at some point as a secondary team, the Reds were a favorite of my dad's and my grandpa, but they were also rivals with the Dodgers back in the day. So as I'm saying that out loud, probably not the case.
So who was your favorite Dodger when you were younger? Because I won't say they're my team, but I really liked Pedro Guerrero. I remember Steve Sachs, Ron Say.
So that was before my memories. I would say my earliest memories of the Dodgers, I was used to hate Ramon Martinez because he didn't bat his weight. He batted like $180. He was terrible. I don't know why he ever played. But my high school pitching mechanics mimicked Kevin Brown.
Oh, yeah.
So I liked him. And then who didn't like Raul Mondesi? He had a
tattoo on his arm of a cannon.
Yes, because he had a cannon.
Exactly. And his arm had a cannon.
Yes.
On the arm. So, yes.
So he was awesome. And then like recency bias, but he's been there for 17 years at Clayton Kershaw.
Sure. And you have Will Smith from Louisville that's there.
Will Smith's a nice one. They've got Dalton Rushing. He went to the University of Louisville. I don't think he's from Louisville.
Yeah.
But he went to the University of Louisville. He's a catcher as well.
Okay.
And he's in AAA. He if Will Smith didn't exist.
And they both went to U of L.
Yes, small world.
Yeah.
If Will Smith didn't exist, Will Smith, I love you, by the way. I hope he stay around for a long time. Then Dalton Rushing would probably be the starting catcher for the Dodgers. He's that good.
I bought a Will Smith autographed card off eBay.
Nice.
I don't know, last fall.
Will Smith, if you're listening to this, maybe spring. Maybe if you get snubbed at the All-Star break,
sign some stuff. Yeah.
If you get snubbed at the All-Star break, then maybe you can come on the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
From Louisville.
Yeah.
Give me a shout. All right, ad read time. Cardinal Movers, a local moving company since 2014 with over 3,000 Google reviews. They specialize in making your move as smooth and stress-free as possible. Their team of clean-cut and professional movers, see, they could play for the Yankees, clean-cut.
It's a good shave.
It's what we call a callback in the industry. Movers is dedicated to handling your belongings with the utmost care and efficiency. Visit their website at cardinalmoving.com or give them a call at 502-599-2661 to get a free quote. All right, we're doing a very different format today. We're going to do reaction videos with Ryan. So I have some background on this. There is a guy on TikTok. So, of course, we have our resident TikTok expert, Ryan
Big on
Davis.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
huge thing on TikTok.
Big TikToker.
So we have a guy in Boulder, Colorado. I'm like 60% sure his name's Mike. So we're just going to call him Mike. If it's not, I'm sorry. I mean, no disrespect by that. He's very much gotten under the skin of realtors on social media over the last few weeks, especially on TikTok. So I love it. I think it's hilarious because we're quickly learning that what he thought was going to be a piece of cake transaction has quickly turned into a challenge. He's trying to sell his house on his own for sale by owner. He is offering cooperating commission 2%. I don't know what is the going rate in Colorado, but we'll say that it's competitive. Just we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. My tinfoil hat, though, is I think he was trying to build this into something special where he could just bash on realtors and then monetize it on social media.
He had an ulterior motive.
I think so. I can't confirm that, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think so. The process he's documenting has appeared to turn into a full-time job because it is quite cumbersome. So I think that there's probably a hole in the market that if only you could pay someone to help you sell your house, maybe buy back some of that time.
It's a novel concept.
I think we're onto something. So I don't know. I'm sure it's a stupid idea. Why would you ever want to pay someone to do something for you when you could do it?
I do my own surgeries. If I have an issue, I just suture myself. So why would you pay a doctor?
Exactly. So with all that said, we're going to dive into Mike's videos and get rolling.
So I'm just going to watch this video?
Yeah, we're going to watch and we're going to do live reaction. His Twitter handle is Realtors Hate Me. So a very welcoming page, especially if you're a real estate agent. So we've got 5 videos we're going to do. This is
I do hate his hair. I don't have good hair like that.
Sir, is it possible? So we recently decided to sell our house in Boulder, Colorado, and I've interviewed a bunch of different agents. They all want north of 2.5%, and not a single one can tell me why they deserve tens of thousands of dollars to basically just take photos and open doors. The truth is, they probably don't.
So we're going to open doors and take photos. That's all we do, right? Sure. Absolutely. All we do.
Yeah. I mean, so far, no lies detected.
Yes.
But in Colorado, the system is rigged to force you to use real estate agents. In most states, FSBO sellers, so for sale by owner sellers, can basically pay a small flat fee, couple $100s, and you can get access to the MLS. But in Colorado, there's all these laws that agents lobby very hard for that basically force sellers to pay for thousands of dollars of services that they don't need just to list their house. So since I can't get on the MLS, I'm kind of limited to only using Zillow and Trulia. And even those platforms actually make it really hard for sellers. Buyers basically have to manually check a box just to be able to see them. So I'm basically gonna launch an all-out campaign to see if I can beat the odds and sell my house here in Colorado without an agent. So far, I've staged the house, I've gotten photos taken. Tomorrow, I'm gonna list it on Zillow and Trulia, and I'm gonna document the entire process. So every win, every offer, every hurdle Colorado throws at me. So follow along to see if I can actually pull this off. And if you know someone who wants a house in Boulder, Colorado, tag them below.
So that's our first video.
Okay.
My initial thoughts on this is I believe he thinks it's going to be a walk in the park. Based on that video, he thinks it's going to be a slam dunk. He's going to sell the house in a week. And
He thinks less than that.
yeah, and he's going to save tens of thousands of dollars. What is your take so far?
If he wants to try to do that, good luck to him. Wishing the best. Probably one of the things realtors we aren't good at is showing the hard parts, the behind the scenes, the struggle, because that doesn't play on social media.
Yeah.
So he's probably gone to some realtors, you know, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, whatever websites, videos, and he's seeing wins and he's seeing successes. You and I just had a conversation off camera about a failure.
Lost a listing.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. It's tough. That cost you time and money. And so I think that's his initial thought is, hey, I'm seeing all these successes. I'm seeing all this quick sale. And that's probably on us for not saying, hey, here's the other side of that coin.
Yeah. And he doesn't allude to it in a video that we have, but he does allude to it in general. He bought his house, I believe, for 2.2 back in 2020. So rates were crazy low.
Top of the market.
Exactly.
Inventory. So he might have paid too much.
Should have overpaid.
Hard to say without knowing all the details.
Exactly. And I don't know. I'm going to assume that the price is somewhat accurate because he alludes to the fact that he interviewed other agents. Some of them actually had a higher price point than what he listed it at. So again, going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it's priced correctly. I'm going to take price out of the equation as to why it doesn't sell.
One more thought too. He said that the people he interviewed didn't justify, I guess, their worth.
Yes.
I don't know who he interviewed. Don't know anything about them. We'll never know. That's on them if they can articulate their value proposition. And if you can't, then I totally get why someone would not hire you.
I agree. All right. Day 3.
All right, everyone. Day 3 of trying to sell my house in Colorado without a realtor. It's time to show you what I'm working with. All right, so here's my house. It's a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,100 square foot home on a 1/4-acre lot in one of Boulder's most desirable neighborhoods. I bought it 2 years.
Spoiler alert. Everybody lives in the most desirable neighborhood.
I was going to say that's clearly opinion. It may be true, but it also may not. Also, it looks like he's wearing a beeper on his collar, FYI.
Yeah. I'm going to add to the blurred out picture. I don't know if it's blurred out or if that's done on purpose. That annoys the hell out of me.
Whatever.
You'll see it. Trust me, it's going to get worse. Okay. You just keep seeing it. It doesn't go away.
$5.75 million, and I'm listing it at $2.725 million. The house has this like modern European style design with skylights and vaulted ceilings and a ton of natural light. The layout's completely open concept, so everything kind of flows seamlessly from the living room to the dining area and to the kitchen. The kitchen is sleek and minimalist. It's got all white cabinetry, premium appliances, and a really clean design. If you're into indoor-outdoor living, the dining space opens right up to this private backyard with a big deck. It's great. We love it in the summer. The primary suite has vaulted ceilings, a custom walk-in closet, and an ensuite bathroom. And all of the bedrooms are really large with a lot of natural light. There's also a ton of flexible space throughout the house.
I don't like
Both
that.
my wife and I work from home, so we each have our own office.
I'm not going to rewind it, but that wall with all that stuff on it, that just felt very cluttered.
I work from home, so we each have our own office. And the backyard's fenced in and perfect for kids. There's plenty of room for playing. There's a tree house and an in-ground trampoline. This neighborhood is really amazing for families. There's a ton of young families around. Your steps from multiple places.
I don't know about Colorado, but he mentioned backyard's great for kids. Obviously, we have rules that fair housing, that if he was a realtor, he would have just violated that because some people don't have kids and don't want kids.
I think you're also not allowed to say walkable anymore. I think that's a fair housing violation.
Yeah. Now, he didn't have to adhere to that because he's just a private citizen, but yeah, you would say distance from instead of walkability.
Yeah.
Playgrounds, trails, and open space. You're also really close to a lot of amenities like grocery stores and restaurants. Okay, so that's my house. I dropped the Zillow link in the bio. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And I want to hear from you. Would you change anything about this listing?
All right.
Just wrapped up.
So how long he did that video after how many days?
That was day 3.
Okay.
So day 3 of the process.
I feel like Boulder is lack of inventory, like any place. My assumption would be if he had it priced properly, even on Zillow, whatever, sign in your yard, looks like it's in a neighborhood, plenty of traffic, people would have found it, people would have made showing requests. So my first thought is if you don't have any activity after day 3 in that market at that price in a house that looks really, really nice, your price is too high.
Yeah.
So high that no one's reached out to you.
Well, and I think too, some of that plays into the factor of affordability. It plays into, if the rates were still 2.5 to 3.5, and then we'd be paying a half of what the mortgage would be to today.
Did he comp it himself? Like, where did he get his list price? I think he said appraisal from a couple years ago.
He bought it for 2.2, so I'm sure he did some average appreciation over that. But he also met with other realtors that gave him pricing.
Okay.
So he did at least have. So he did just pick a number out of thin air and said, if I could get this number, I would sell. I don't believe it's one of those situations.
I would also think if he wanted to do this the right way on the front end, if he's, on day 3 saying what's happening, what is the average days on market for a house of that style and price? Mm-hmm. And if it's, let's say, 30 days, then why are you getting antsy after day 3?
Yeah. So, all right, here is, this is the open house. This is post open house. So we did an open house. I don't know the day number on this. It's less than day 8, but this is, he did an open house. So we've got the feedback from that.
Open house, here are the stats. I had 11 unrepresented buyers come through, 1 agent from Denver, and 1 guy who built me this like AI agent thing for me to test out. It was actually pretty cool. But here's what's interesting. Not a single local agent came through with a client.
I would say that is very much expected. Not a single agent came through with a client. I don't get very many agents in my open houses. I get tons of people that are represented, but it's all like on a whim. It is, we were driving through the area, we didn't want to bug our realtor with it because we weren't really that serious about the house. But since it was open, we figured we'd stop by, grab a free cookie and a drink. I don't know how you have interactions at open houses, but it's generally just the public.
Yeah. Especially if he did it on whatever the peak open house day and time is for that market, a lot of those agents could be doing their own open houses, so they can't come through there. And I give business cards to my people and say, if you go through there, let them know we're working together, give them this, tell them to call me if, you have questions or whatever, want to check in, verify them as a client, whatever. So a lot of times we're doing open houses too. So that's why we don't go. And also, like you said, some people might have just been driving by or might have seen it on Zillow and
probably saw it on TikTok.
Or whatever. Like I don't know what the TikTok market is in Boulder, but
yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, you're right. And you might, if you get an agent come through with their client, there's a high level of interest.
Yeah.
In theory, they're going to go after they leave there and really dig into, does this work or not?
Yeah. I don't know the $2.7 million market. We don't have a lot of those houses here in Louisville. No. That's fair to say. And most of them are sold off market if they are. But I would be shocked if open houses are going to sell a $2.7 million house. I hear 11 buyers came through unrepresented.
Yeah.
And all I hear is 11 leads walk through that door that I can now work for a potential sale at a later time.
Well, and the more expensive a house that does an open house, the more people that just want to see what a $2.7 million house looks like because they don't live in it. Probably, I will never live in a house like that and don't afford it. So a lot of times, at least in our market, even over, I don't know, $1 million here, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
A lot of those sellers don't want to do open houses because you're just going to get people that just are curious what that looks like.
Yeah. And the 2 agents that he said, I guarantee at least one of those agents went there solely for the fact to try and get the listing.
Probably. Yeah.
And the other agent may have just gone and make some cool content.
Yep.
It's wild to me that there isn't a single agent represented buyer in the Boulder area that is looking for a turnkey home in a popular price range in one of the most desirable neighborhoods in the city. Because at this point, I'm quite confident that every local agent is now aware of my listing. Between this account and the 1,000 emails I sent out, it's very unlikely that they may.
Yeah, so in a previous video, he lets it be known that he bought I don't know how he did, but he bought a list of every realtor in Boulder, Colorado, and emailed them all the listing. So, yeah, safe to say they all know that
maybe could have also gone to junk mail. Could also be old emails. Could also be agents that aren't active.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and I mean, I'm not on TikTok. If that's my only way in Boulder to find that, I would not have found it.
it's fair.
Hey, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's Saturday. Maybe their clients were busy. Maybe something came up. I just want to remind all the local agents that I am offering a buyer's agent commission. I have a great product. I have all my documents filled out. I have a local title company ready to go, and I have a lawyer ready to review contracts. This should be quite easy for you. So with that being said, if you're a local agent with a buyer who would like to come to my open house.
If you have a local title company ready to go to run the title search, review contracts, why do you also need a local attorney ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you spend the money on both?
It's a great question.
And the attorney is going to cost far more than the title company who's geared up to do a title search, help you with documents. At least that's what happens here locally. So yeah, okay, keep going.
If you're a local agent with a buyer who would like to come to my open house tomorrow, it starts at 11 a.m. It goes to 2 p.m. My address is 1010 Union Avenue, and the listing is in the link in bio. And I'll even make some delicious fresh baked cookies for you tomorrow morning. Have a great night.
Cookies don't sell houses.
No, but they are really good though.
Cookies cover smells. Or everyone.
But yeah, they do cover some smells.
Yeah.
But they smell great.
Yep, that's fair.
And they taste even better.
Yeah, depends on who makes them.
That's fair. All right. So any feedback on the open house? Anything you got from the open house video? I know we stopped a bunch of times to talk, but anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lid for every pot, a butt for every seat.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I hadn't walked through there yet. If that'd be my thought, if he was asking me, you got to give, again, that's days, sounds like 7.
Yeah.
What are the average days on market for 2.7 in Boulder? Are we there yet? When we get close to that, then we have a real conversation about bodies through. I mean, and he said 11 people came through. Okay, well, how many of them are serious? How many of them do you have contact information for? How many of them did you reach out to? And if you did, what did they say?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have 50 people come through. You only sell it to one person. You just want one good one.
Yeah, and the fact that it's 2.7, he's all over TikTok, I would say there's a lot of people in Boulder that are going through that house at an open house just to check out the house.
Or create their own content.
Yep.
I'm at the Realtor hate me guy's house.
Yeah.
And I don't hate this guy so far. I guess.
No.
He hasn't done anything egregious to me.
No, he hasn't.
Do what you want to do.
He comes across very combative, though, in all of his videos. And that...
Whatever.
So I could see where agents would potentially not want to work with him. It could be...
That could be some of it, too. It's like, I mean, if my client wants to see it, sure. But I don't, whatever.
We're not steering. We're advising the client that this may be a rocky road. You tread it.
And he also said that his house is turnkey and in great shape. And it very well may be, but like, did you do a pre-home inspection? Do you have a copy of that? I mean,
yeah.
Have you recently done something that we haven't heard about to make it turnkey, or, had somebody, fix every little thing? Because different people have different definitions of the word turnkey.
Yeah.
Different buyers. Turnkey is literally do nothing. And some people turnkey as well, still got to paint and do some things. So...
And we looked at the house previously. I'm assuming that's safe to, how he kind of lives his day to day and how it looks. It looked like it was, as he quotes, turnkey. I mean, it didn't look like there was anything, cosmetically that needed to be wrong. Hopefully the furnace still works. We're in Boulder, so that's needed. But
A realtor, and today we got our first offer. So I think now's a really good time for me to be very transparent with you guys. So
where do you think the offer came in at? He's not going to say. I'm just curious.
I haven't seen the rest of the video. I'm going to guess it's low enough he doesn't accept it. Or why would there be more videos? And why would he not say,
yep,
we've got an accepted contract, or I accepted an offer?
Yep.
You guys. So I am negotiable on price. But I am also not desperate to sell this house. We are moving to Costa Rica in a few months. We are building a house down there.
Don't tell people you're moving to Costa Rica.
In a few months.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do this from afar in Costa Rica? So you might not be desperate, but you have a finite amount of time.
Yes. Don't show your hand. Don't fall in love with the car on the car lot. He just showed his hand.
We are building a house down there. I don't really want to rent this place out because I don't like the idea of having to manage the headache from abroad. Having said that, I'm willing to rent this place out if I can't hit the number I want to hit. So with that said, the offer I received today is not really in the ballpark for where we need to be. I've countered, but I don't think we're really anywhere close. So the show goes on. This weekend, I'm hosting one open house. We've got major news publications here in Colorado and nationally who want to do a story on this. So I'm going to sit back, relax, and kind of see where things go. More soon. All right, so this year.
That is where my tinfoil hat comes into play.
About the major news stories? Did you try to look them up?
No, have not yet. I'm going to take them at face value again,
Sure.
that there are local and national news that is coming to do this. This is a $2.7 million house, which I would assume is, again, making a ton of assumptions on this, but $2.7 million house in Boulder. The house is great. It's not amazing. It's not a mansion, but that's probably an average price point for some of those areas out there. Why is national media coming? Why is local media covering it for a for sale by owner? That doesn't make any sense unless someone is behind the scenes.
A friend maybe, or looking for content.
A tinfoil hat. Someone behind the scenes is moving and shaking something, and I'll explain why in a minute. We'll just kind of, we'll come back to that.
Also desperate to know my opinion. Here's what I think needs to change about the real estate industry. All right, I'll preface this by saying that before a couple months ago, I hadn't really thought too much about this. I'm by far an expert on this topic. I don't claim to be. There are a lot of people who've spent a lot of time researching this and know a lot more about the industry than I do. And I really do encourage and welcome them to join this conversation. I've been a part of 6, maybe 7 real estate transactions in my life, including a couple international real estate transactions. And they've all gone fairly smoothly with agents involved. It's been fine, no complaints. It honestly wasn't until I decided to sell my house here in Colorado that I started to discover all the ways in which the system is not working for consumers, particularly sellers. I'm a firm believer in the adage that you can't throw stones without offering solutions. So here are my solutions. All right, so the first thing is I think we've got to get rid of this standard 6% commission model that's heavily protected.
It's not standard, just FYI.
Protected by brokerages. In most industries, competition lowers prices, but in real estate, commissions have stayed the same at 5 to 6% for decades, despite house prices going through the roof. You know, a $5 million home doesn't actually require 10x the paperwork or 10x the showings or 10x the effort as a $500,000 home. So why is the agent collecting 10x the commission? I think sellers should have options. I think there should be flat fees, lower commission tiers, or like a la carte services so that they can only pay for what they want to.
Again, not knowing the Boulder, Colorado market or the Colorado laws, all of that exists here in Kentucky.
Yeah, it does. As I say, limited service listings, flat fee listings. Again, for sale by owner, and just pair up with the title company. There's, I don't want to say hundreds, but there are many ways to do it that should work for someone. Or you can do what he's doing.
2 is we got to end this MLS gatekeeping. I recognize MLS is owned by agents. I recognize there are other platforms for sellers to list their homes. But in most cases, you just can't fully list your home without an agent. I think listing...
I love that he calls it gatekeeping of the MLS, because is it gatekeeping that Walmart doesn't let me have a yard sale in their outdoor section? I'm not allowed to sell my stuff at Walmart. I'm not allowed to go to a car lot and put a for sale sign on my car and try to sell it. Like, if you want to have a publicly owned, publicly managed software, create one for sale by owners, wait 25 years until it's expected, and then maybe it'll be as good as ours.
Yeah, everybody has their thoughts and opinions and all that stuff. I don't claim to know the inner workings of the MLS as far as like who owns it and how it started, what the very high level background and all that predates me in the industry, and maybe even, I don't know how old it is, but it's been around as long as I'm aware of, and I'm almost 50. So
I looked it up. It came to be in 96.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yes.
And I was in college. I was not thinking about any of this.
So come up with a software. Wait, what is that? Well, how long ago was that?
30 years.
29 years ago. Put 29 years of service into it, and then maybe you'll have something that'll work.
And, things get tweaked. Issues get dealt with in theory. I'm sure whatever it looked like in 96 is not how it looks today. Probably for better, maybe for worse in some areas. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think listing a home, getting your home in front of prospective buyers should be just as easy as listing your car. I think we should open up the MLS to all sellers, not just agents. All right, and number 3 is you got to raise the bar for entry. You can't credibly claim that you have this extensive knowledge or skill set if getting a license is as simple as taking a short course and a quick test. As many of you guys have told me, agents handle huge financial transactions. So why are the entry requirements so low? Okay, so the bottom line, in my opinion, is the industry is long overdue for change. This isn't about getting rid of agents. It's about giving consumers more choice, more transparency, and more control over the biggest financial transaction of their lives. So tell me, what do I have wrong about this?
All right. And that's it. That's the conclusion. I mean, I'm sure there's
When did he do this video? How long ago? How long?
not long.
So we don't
have a conclusion yet.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Okay.
It's still active.
I don't disagree that things are, should always be evolving, always changing. Everything should be pro-consumer, for the consumer, with the consumer in mind. Are there probably some states, areas, issues that maybe could be tweaked? I'm sure there are. But that's true of probably any industry.
Yeah.
I mean, pick an industry, he talked about selling cars or, insurance or going to the doctor. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I don't disagree with products and industries should be geared towards consumer satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Not every realtor is probably great at their job. Not every whatever he does is great at their job. Not every doctor is the best. Not every baseball player is the greatest. So could he have gotten a few that maybe weren't at the top of their game? I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are...
Unwilling to drop your commission and having a fixed rate are two very different things. There are certain agents that will not drop their rate, but that's not because they're price fixing. It's because
that's just how they want to do their business.
That's how they operate.
Which is up to them, and that may have
100%.
cost them this listing. That's a decision they have to make and be okay with.
Yes. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
He could have been, incredibly combative. He may have been the nicest person in the world. I'm not going to assume anything, but he could have been incredibly combative during the listing presentation. And they said, you know what, if this was someone else, I may have dropped it a little bit, but this guy's going to be a lot. It's going to take a lot of time, effort, and energy to really give him the service that he feels he deserves. And because of that, it's going to charge X.
Or he could have been the most gracious, nicest, wonderful human.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that he was interviewing could be, at this point in time, extremely busy, just more business they've ever had, need to hire an assistant, and to take on another listing, to put something else in their headspace, it had to be worth X to them.
Yes.
That same agent, 6 months, if this was 6 months later, might be not as busy, might have not a lot going on, and might have said, hey, yeah, well, what works for you? Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So there's so many, you get his side of it. You don't get the other agent's side. So there's so many unanswered questions, but if you want to sell your own house, go for it.
It was a
really
nice case study.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
People go through.
Yeah, but good for him. I've heard of people that have sold their own house. Not an issue, easy peeps. I've had people that, November, a lady was trying to sell her own house, ran into some problems, called me and said, can you help me with this? And I said, yes.
I hope he succeeds. I have no ill will towards the guy. I do think he comes across very combative, but at the end of the day, I don't care if he sells it or not.
I find it interesting. I'm not going to follow this. I'm not going to go on TikTok. Next time I'll see you, I'll ask you what happened, because I don't care that much. But yeah, I think that's a very small look into the window. There's probably plenty of people like that make assumptions about things, but I'm sure we make assumptions about things that aren't, probably true. That's human nature.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So
my last thought for me, and we gotta get rolling on this. My tinfoil hat, like I was talking about, I think this is all a long play. I think that he is going to partner with a company that's going to help, air quotes, help or disrupt the real estate industry, and they're going to assist for sale by owners in selling their house for top dollar without having to pay, his words, not mine, standard commission. That they are essentially going to create what already exists, which is a flat fee brokerage. They're going to reinvent the wheel.
They're going to disrupt the space.
Yes, that buzzword that everybody loves.
Disruptors. Yeah.
They're going to disrupt, and that's why I think the national news is involved. Is he's going to have tons of media attention on his house, so that when this new company comes in to swoop in and save the day, there's already a big buzz about his.
They already have their first sort of win or talking point.
Yep.
And there's already companies that do that. There's like different sort of one, like
Open doors,
or
one,
iBuyer. And I think either this morning or last night I read, their quarter 4 reports came out. It's like, yeah, they only lost $60 million this year, which is
that's it?
losing $110 million
not
last
bad.
year. They might be, again, if you're smart enough to figure that out and it works, good for you.
Yep.
Like, it's a free market economy. Do your thing.
Speaking of money, I'm excited to partner with Family Senior Solutions for their Fast, Easy Loan Program, a game changer for sellers looking to maximize their home's value. This loan allows sellers to tap into their home equity with no upfront costs, covering everything from contractors coordination to invoices, all paid at closing. Whether you're downsizing, upgrading, or simply preparing your home for top dollar, this program makes renovations seamless and stress-free. If you're ready to take advantage of this opportunity, contact me or visit seniorfamilysolutions.com to get started. With that being said, the Senior Family Solutions and their Fast, Easy Equity Loan question of the podcast is, from the last guest, what's the story about when you made the most money at one time? Whether it was real estate, gambling, whatever. Or how much was the most money you made?
Not a big gambler, so it wouldn't be gambling.
All right.
I would guess whenever the most expensive house I sold would have been the most.
You don't have to say the commission on it, but what was the price of the home?
I think roughly like 2.3, I think. Something like that. I did sell a baseball. We talked about baseball cards last time. I did sell a baseball card. It's a basketball card a month or two ago for nowhere near that amount, but to me, a couple $1,000s.
Nice.
That wildly made me almost as excited as selling a house.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. So with that being said, you've got to now come up with a question for the next guest.
You
don't know who they are. You know nothing about them. I know who it is, but you don't.
Is there like literally anything?
Something open-ended. Don't ask about real estate, because I will give you a clue. It's not a realtor.
Okay. Name your 5 favorite rap artists or groups, your 5 favorite country artists or groups if they exist, and your 5 favorite rock/pop artists or groups.
Okay. I'm on it. All right. We're done. You got anything you want to plug at the very end? We got to roll.
I do not.
Appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
Always fun.
Yes.
Do it again in a year?
Maybe.
All right.
Check my schedule.
Cool.
I got a lot going on.
Thank you much.
I'm a very busy guy. So.
All right. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Oh, we're still working.
Comment. Yeah.